What's up, gamers? Masked Gamer here. Today I am going to do a little video and show you my comic book collection. You can't spend all of your time playing video games, and so it's kind of a good idea to pick up another hobby. And the other hobby that I've picked up over the last year and a half or so of my life has been comic book collecting, and there's the gamer cat Steve again. Every time I turn on the video camera, she decides she wants to come and hang out. But I thought I'd kind of show you, since I'm basically what I'm doing today is I have pulled all of my comics out of my comic book room in my house here, and I basically use that as my office and my comic book room, so I can do a little work from home, and I can kind of close the door and be left alone and not have the noise of all the video games and everything else going on around here. And I use it as my comic book room. It is not done, so I'm not going to do a video yet because I'm putting up some different features and stuff, but once I get a little bit more satisfied with it, I will do a video showing you that. So today I'm showing you my almost 3,000 comic book collection that I have accumulated over the last year and a half or so. As you can see, I've got 5 long boxes, which, you know, if you don't collect comics, you can see these are the big boys. I hold somewhere around 250 comics. And then I have another slew of the small boxes, which are, you know, around 150, 175, somewhere around there, for a grand total of about 3,000 comic books. Looks like I've got 4, 8, 12, 13, 14 small boxes and 5 long boxes filled with comic books. It's been quite the adventure. I'll just show you a couple of the highlights of it. My favorite comic book character is a tie between SpiderMan and the Savage Dragon. This set right here, this is all the Savage Dragon, one of my favorites. Actually, the artist is coming into my part of town. Basically, this dude is looks like a dragon with a mohawk on, and he's a total badass. Suggested for mature readers, but the artist on this, Erik Larsen, started back in the 80s, and he did a lot of work for Marvel, DC, all the big companies, and a lot of respect for his art. He's actually the longest, I believe he is the longest artist to ever write, and the longest running series to be written and drawn by the same person. So pretty cool thing here. And then I've got some different Spider-Mans here, which would be the tie for first. Here's some different Venom comics. Venom's a pretty sweet character. I've got some old Marvel Tales Spider-Mans in here, and a whole bunch of those. And then got some regular Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man, which used to just be called Spider-Man, and then I started going into Peter Parker Spider-Man. This is some of the famous work from the Image guys, which do Spawn, Savage Dragon, Wildcats, things like that. Most of them got started with Marvel. Todd McFarlane is the creator of Spawn. He got started on doing a lot of work in Spider-Man and X-Men, things like that. But then also Erik Larsen did as well. He did some amazing Spider-Man, things like that. Then here's my Spectacular Spider-Man collection. I actually have Spectacular Spider-Man #1 out at the CGC, which grades comics. It is signed by Stan Lee. I expect to get that back in a few days. So here's another box of Spider-Mans here. So see, I've got a big, huge collection of Spider-Man here. I've been working on I'm trying to complete Spectacular Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, things like that. I got some DC. I got a lot of Valiant here. Valiant comics were really popular back in the 90s when I started collecting comics as a kid, and then I forgot about it and started up again once I was in my 30s, which is pretty funny. I got a lot of random stuff. I'm a real fan of the 90s Image stuff. We got some Rob Liefeld work here, some Bad Rock, Supreme. See, I got Youngblood. I have the full set of the original Youngblood and the full series run there. Pretty sweet. And then let's see, I got a lot of Image stuff. A lot of people that collect comics don't like the 90s, but it has a soft spot in my heart, as that's when I started collecting as a kid. Got some Michael Turner stuff. Got G.I. Joe, Bone. Got the entire Deathmate Image and Valiant crossover. I have the full run of that. Pretty sweet. I have just about every Valiant book published in the 90s. You can see I got Geomancer #1, Psylords #1. I got pretty much every Valiant comic that was published in the 90s. I have a pretty big Spawn collection as well. There's my Spawn #1, but I won't keep boring you. Another series here is that I like is this is Invincible. This is the creator of The Walking Dead. He also writes the story for this, and it is just about, the title is the best superhero comic book in the universe, and I don't disagree. It is absolutely phenomenal. I actually just met and had some books signed by the co-creator, and then I got a bunch of Walking Dead, which the value on these things go up dramatically, almost instantaneously because of the TV show. So the other day, my recent pick was I picked up a lot of Spectacular Spider-Man. Went to a comic book shop and they had a 99-cent bin. And so I grabbed all of these old Spectacular Spider-Mans to help get closer to the whole set for 99 cents a pop, which was pretty sweet. And then I picked up the latest Walking Dead 107, which is pretty awesome. Now this box is pretty much my pride and joy here. This is my signed collection. I have an entire short box filled with signed comics. Got them all the way. This one right here is Scott Clark. Sorry, Scott Clark signed this one from Stormwatch back in the 90s. See what else I got. Yeah, that's not impressive. This guy right here, this was a Rob Liefeld work. Back in the 90s, he started Extreme Studios. This is signed by all of the Extreme Studios guys, which I was pretty proud of. I have a ton of Eric Larson Savage Dragon signed by the man himself. I have a whole slew of these. This one right here met Greg Capullo. I think that's how you pronounce his name, but he does a lot of work on he did Spawn, Haunt, a lot of like different DC stuff. He was a really cool guy, signed stuff nicely. Got some Frank Miller signed books. I got Prophet. Let's see, what else do I have here? Let me see if I can find a good one to pull up. Ripclaw. That's a piece of junk. Got some Spawn signed by Capullo. This one right here is, who is that? Oh, Jay Lee, sorry. Got the Deathmate Tour book signed. Here's another Extreme Studio Tour book. I got a bunch of these signed when I was a kid. These are the only remaining comics from when I was a child. And a whole bunch of Rob Liefeld stuff, which I was actually able to meet him and get a bunch of stuff signed by him recently. And then I've got a bunch of stuff signed by Mark Bagley. He is a very, very famous Spider-Man artist. He's done, I think, more Spider-Man than just about anyone. More Savage Dragon. This one I'm pretty proud of. The Infinite, signed by Robert Kirkman and Rob Liefeld. They did a kind of collaboration work. They signed this at the comic book convention last year, which was pretty awesome. They signed this one as well. Let's see. More Infinite. Let's see. Got some Amazing Spider-Man signed by Eric Larson. Some of his earlier work, which is awesome. Love this issue. See if I can pull out a couple of the really sweet ones. Youngblood, Bad Rock, DN Agents signed by Eric Larson. Let's see what else do I have in here. Got an Amazing Spider-Man. This is just I keep a couple old Amazing Spider-Mans in here. This is issue 226, probably worth about $30-40, something like that. Another old one, which I've got another Amazing Spider-Man out. Being graded right now, that's being signed by Stan Lee. So those are going to be some expensive, nice comics. See what else we've got in here that might be of interest to you. Got a whole lot of good stuff. Some more Savage Dragon, Shadowhawk signed, Phantom. Let me see, I got a couple of Walking Deads in here that I got signed. Oh yeah, there's a good comic. So right here we got Chew by John Layman. Got this signed at the last comic book convention. I have a bunch of issues signed by him. He was a really cool guy. We talked a little video game talk, a little bit about Borderlands while I was there because I had my Borderlands t-shirt on. Then I got a bunch of stuff signed by Jim Lee. Extremely, extremely famous. He was also one of the founders of Image. Pretty cool. And then I've got some This Walking Dead was given to me as a gift by Robert Kirkman because he spilled water at the comic book convention and used that comic to actually mop up his mess. So he signed it and gave it to me, and it was pretty cool. I got the Walking Dead Comic Con edition, San Diego Comic Con, signed by Robert Kirkman. You could probably sell that for $100 or so. Blindside, got a whole lot of stuff. So, anyways, thanks for watching. But let me show you what I'm doing. I'm changing all of my old cardboard boxes to these plastic boxes. You can see it kind of looks like cardboard, but this is actually plastic. I can sit on these bad boys and they hold my fat butt up. So I've got 10 of these guys right here that I'm going to be transferring all 3,000 of those comics into. So, you know, I just thought I'd share my one of my other hobbies with you, and hopefully you can appreciate that, because, you know, that is what 3,000 comic books looks like. And I'd say these are probably, I could probably sell everything in here for somewhere between 10 and 12, somewhere 13 grand maybe, something like that I've accumulated over the last year. So pretty proud of it. So anyways, I'll go ahead and do an update when I get my comic book room finished, and I'll go ahead and show you, you know, my comic book room setup. It's pretty much going to be a nerd's wet dream. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate the subscriptions. If you don't subscribe, please do. And until next time, the Masked Gamer is out.